All right, everyone, quick test to see if I can actually stream to my YouTube. After all of that, you have to ask for permission stuff and all that, and hopefully we have audio because I just did a video that I was really happy about to find out that we didn't have any audio. Yay! So the mic is blowing. That's a good thing. So yeah, let's get right to it. As of course, NFL Week 14, yep, just when it comes to the biggest losers, it just has to be how about the Chiefs? All in the end of the Destiny talk. Can you hang that on Travis Kelsey? Oh boy. And my Bucks. My Bucks losing to the Saints in a game that absolutely everybody thought that the Bucks should have an easy win. No week in the NFL is easy. Also, Joel Verlin behind the microphone, Tampa Motor Mouth, rocking and rolling here. And yeah, but oh boy, biggest loser has to be, besides anybody who sat through that horrible Monday night football game. Yikes! As how about Jalen Hurts throwing a four picks, including a pick fumble funny play that should have been set to Yakety Saxon and throwing a game ending interception in overtime. The Positivity Bunny is now 0-1. If you're keeping track at home, honorable mention, not NFL, but just one of the reasons I think I'm so turned off to just college football and the college football playoffs is just because of this time of year. Here we are again. Here we are again. It's Selection Sunday. Here's the reveal. Why did this team get in? Why did that team not get in? Bloody, 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 bloody. Endless. Every single solitary here, no matter how they tweak it, no matter how they correct it, make it better, expand it, and you still have teams that get left out. People like why is Alabama in there, and then of course Notre Dame is honorable mention as all of a sudden, not NFL, but Notre Dame, all of a sudden, because they did not get selected, they are not going to do any bowl games. They're just going to take their marbles and go home. So are you buying into their angst? Are you buying into Notre Dame's angst? Are you going, heck yeah, go for it? I understand why they're doing it. Or are you absolutely just perplexed? Go, why? Why? Just okay. Yeah, it sucked. You were led to believe that you were in, and now you're not. But yeah, give your kids a bowl game. Give your kids a bowl game. Why not? But yeah, so lots of back and forth on this one issue, but it just seems to be the same every flipping year. Let's yell about the teams who didn't get in. Let's yell about some teams who got in, and it just needs to change. I don't know what they need to do to fix it, but that's what happens when you have people meeting in a smoke-filled room to decide who plays for the college football playoffs instead of, oh, I don't know, standings like the NFL, whether or not a team wins or loses, like the NFL. But yeah, it just kind of turns me off, just big time. Yeah. Another thing some people were definitely turned off about, once again, how about Jalen Hurts? That double turnover play cost from Fantasy Genius cost 298 owners their matchups. That's 298 who would have won if he had only committed one turnover on that play as absolute craziness. Once again, source Fantasy Genius IO. Just something every week with fantasy and reality colliding like they usually do. And of course, let's get to the headline takeaways from week 14, starting off with, yeah, if you were like me, you drank the Kool-Aid, you were taking the Cowboys, you thought this was their year, and the Lions woke them up to reality, beating them 44-30. Not going to be the highest score of the week. That one comes later. And yeah, you drank the Kool-Aid, and now you have how did the Cowboys bounce back without Lamb next week? How long is he out? Just very scary how his head landed and hit, and just the mannerisms with the hands. And is Pickens going to be enough? And all of a sudden, Pickens having some problems get into it with Richard Sherman. In come the criticisms. It's just insane. And don't forget though, Jake Ferguson in games without CeeDee Lamb running his normal route share this year, 18.6 PPR points per game, and with Lamb, 10.7 points per game, depending upon how long CeeDee Lamb's absence is going to be. Jake Ferguson might be a lock to help many people win their fantasy playoffs. Kind of crazy. You never know what's going to happen. And then we go to Sunday, and Seahawks against the Falcons. Just oh boy, it's bad. Falcons showed up 37-9 as Darnold and JSN are back. And how about that Rashid Shaheed, beautiful kickoff return for a 100-yard touchdown kickoff return that was so sweet. Oh, that was just absolutely freaking beautiful. Jackson Smith and Jigba had 2 touchdowns, and it's a bad day when Kyle freaking Pitts is pretty much the Falcons' offense and Bijan Robinson owners. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Just not a good day. Falcons go down. Real threat for the NFC South against the Bucks this year. It's the Panthers. It's the Panthers. It ain't the Falcons. Steelers and Raiders down go the Ravens. 27-22 Steelers winning. Ravens just cannot settle more field goals in the fourth quarter when they need a win like they do the rest of the way, period. How about Aaron Rodgers throwing for a season high 284 yards, and DK freaking Metcalf setting a season high, catching a whole bunch of those that Aaron Rodgers just chucks out there. There's not a lot of other targets for him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, you got Keaton Mitchell breakout busting loose in week 14. Might be a possible stash for the playoffs going forward. And they said DK Metcalf should be okay to play this week, even after getting banged up a little bit. And oh boy, Titans and Browns, as of course the Browns go down. Titans win that one 31-29 in just a game. We're trying to figure out what WTF Kevin Stefanski is doing. Why isn't Shedeur Sanders in there when he should be in there? Way to go, Titans. You finally won your second game of the year. You did it. Good job. Good job for the Titans. Not so good job for the Browns. As how about Tony Pollard exploding for 161 yards and two scores. He's finally fantasy relevant. Shedeur Sanders throwing 3 touchdowns, rushing another one in there. In the losing effort, Harold Fannin Jr. hits triple digits with his TD, and got to watch that knee injury for David Njoku going forward. But all I talk about Shedeur Sanders, the key for Sanders is going to be these final bunch of games to see against high caliber teams if he can continue this same output. If he can, then you can make the case he wasn't picked high enough. If he can't, then he was picked where he was picked. Colts and Jaguars, boy, so much news from this game. Jaguars hold on and keep the curse alive for the Colts. They win 36-19. Very ugly day for the Colts, as Colts have 2 curses, not only not being able to win Jacksonville per this curse wheel. Hopefully the curse wheel has extra added security protection. Oh boy, Daniel Jones goes down, non-contact injury, Achilles tear on his healthy leg. He was playing fractured fibula with a leg that was injured. Now he's out for the rest of the season, and it is just so crazy in Indy. It is so crazy in Indianapolis that Riley, of course, the backup, he's dealing with an injury, might not be available for this coming week. AR-15 Anthony Richardson, of course, injured in a freak pre-warm-up injury. He's on IR, so looks like it's going to be Philip Rivers Philip Rivers, you better not cry, you better not shout, is coming to flippin' town. 44-year-old's coming back, retired 2020. 2025 is definitely going shaping up to be an interesting NFL season. Oh boy. But yeah, you also had Travis Etienne really getting hot, 2 touchdowns in that Jaguars win. All of a sudden, Liam Cohen, former Bucks coach, helping out the Todd Bowles coaching tree big time. Big time. He was rocking and rolling the Jaguars. David Canales rocking and rolling in Carolina. Yeah, if only defense can do something in Tampa. Yeah, but ooh, how about the Dolphins? Ryan's got to be ecstatic. Or his Dolphins almost back to 500, going to New York, stomping the Jets 34-10. Dolphins win again. The Oblivion comeback from Oblivion tour, but might have a bit of a snag because HN was injured, left with a rib injury. They confirmed that he could have come back in, but they were probably holding him out for precautionary reasons. But Jalen Wright filled in nicely, career high 107 yards, and they'll rank it more of a share coming this week to sort of help HN kind of do a little load management, especially with the injury, keeping an eye out because he's basically there often, so they want to nurse him nicely going forward. But oh yeah, and how about Tyrod Taylor out of the game with a groin injury? So you got to keep track of that. Justin Fields going to come back in. More playoff chatter. Just trying to figure out, does that definitely affect Adonai Mitchell, John Mitchin, the Brees Hall, and that whole crew up in New York. But yeah, Dolphins keep winning, getting closer and closer. And I remember that crazy talk from Rich Eisen talking about how Tua Tagovailoa has never had a season under 500, and all of a sudden, that premonition, that prediction, that is coming to fruition. As crazy as it sounds, as crazy it may be, I think they're fighting to keep McDaniel in Miami, and I think he is back in 2026. Locker room definitely rallied around him. One locker room definitely concerned about, that's the Bucks. Oh boy, as they fall to the Saints, a game that pretty much everybody thought that they should just slam dunk them. After this game, the Bucks dropped 24-20. The Bucks social media has asked everybody for one word. My one word: defense. Another word: how about tackling? 2 words: how about what Jim Mora said after one fairly bad game? Diddly poo, because that's what this game was. Absolutely crappy weather game, crappy day in Tampa Bay. Bucks won, would have actually been a little bit of sunshine in there. Didn't get that. You just cannot give the Panthers, who were on a bye, because you needed some Rico Dowdle, you need some Chuba Hubbard, might even need some Bryce Young. Bucks were on a bye, and by losing the freaking Saints, you gave the Panthers hope. Hope. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised if you see the Panthers as kings of the NFC South this year, and it ain't the Bucks, because oh boy, Bucks and that late stretch always a nail biter. Especially remember last year. Remember last year? Oh boy, the game that was more of a nail biter. How about Bengals and the Bills? The Bills out Bengal the Bengals 39-34 as just they outpowered the Bengals. The Buffalo ended up throwing for four. Burrow, different B word. Burrow threw for 4 TDs in a freaking loss. Insane. And at one point, Josh Allen had a 40-yard TD run, just ripped it off at one point. Because, oh, they're going to blitz me. Okay, I'll make you pay. And wonder how Chase and Brown were feeling about another shootout loss with maybe a defense needing to need some more flipping. I'm sure they didn't say flipping if they said it again. Flipping stops. Josh Allen, of course, counts for four of those touchdowns, and Joe Burrow, 4 TDs, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns for T. Higgins, but lost the Panthers. Just think they were making a statement. They wanted to show everyone, hey, we back, we bad, and we're going to make the Cardinals sad. Puka Nakua dominant 2025 season continued in Arizona, much to the chagrin of Cardinals fans everywhere. Matthew Stafford throws for three flipping touchdowns and blowout win. Blake Corum scores twice in Arizona. Michael Wilson, the sexy pickup, delivers wide receiver one output for fantasy investors. So if you've had him this season, you picked him up late, keep on starting him. He could be a fantasy playoff league winner. So yeah, gotta feel sorry for those Falcons fans. Well, you have to feel sorry for the Falcons fans this week, but you also have to feel sorry for the other bird team, and that'd be the Cardinals. And then we go to Sunday night game 20-10, and the 10 that belong to Kansas City Chiefs and the Texans have 8 wins. Chiefs almost have 8 losses. Who would have possibly thunk that this outcome was possible? And a certain division in the AFC going to have a new king come January. Oh, Chiefs said, well, we're going to get to the Chiefs. And a certain comment by a certain commentator, my final thought was coming up in just a very little bit here. So, yeah, and then, of course, uh, ugly Sunday night game, ugly Monday night game, Eagles and the Chargers. Ugh, just that one play still. Are you ready? That one play. Fantasy on that play. You know which play. Need to counter how many times I bump my mic when I'm doing my gestures. That play, you know which play I'm talking about. Jalen Hurts loses 2 points for the interception, then loses 2 more points for fumbling the ball after recovering the other fumble on the play, minus 4 points on the play. There are 4 points. Little Star Trek Next Generation reference. There are 4 points on one play. Ugh. How many people you're that close, razor thin lead, and something like that happens. I didn't have to worry about winning because I knew with how Saquon Barkley was doing. I was dosed. Quarterback is dosed. My team was dosed, but yeah. And my final thoughts. I usually try to roll my eyes and stay away from the Chris Collinsworth hate that is out there. But yeah, I've got to chime in this one. I'm sorry, I've got to chime in on this one. When he says that he still thinks that the Chiefs can reach the Super Bowl, the Chiefs, what he still says, the Chiefs can reach the Super Bowl, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's the Chiefs' playoff chances, not Super Bowl chances. In a counter to hit Mike. That's on three. Chiefs' Super Bowl chances, not Super Bowl. Playoff chances are 14%, roughly. Let me say that again 14%. In order for them to win and get in, not only do they need a whole lot of help, that you probably need to do some quantum mechanics and computations on, try to figure all that out. We're not going to do that here, but let's just talk about on the Chiefs winning out part. Let's talk about the Chiefs winning out part. Let's talk about that. They have Chargers. Yeah, lost. I think the Chargers are tough. They're the better team. They just held and defeated the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Chargers are tougher than you think. Titans, if they can't beat the Titans, oh boy, that's going to be a rough week for KC. If they can't beat the freaking Titans, even at Tennessee. Broncos, no way, Jose. Broncos just way too tough with that D and that ugly offense. I cannot see them beating the Broncos. They should stomp the Raiders. So realistically, we're talking 2-2. I cannot see the Chiefs winning out because that's one of the two things that's needed. Not only do they need help, they need to win out. I can't see them beating the Broncos, and I cannot see them beating the Chargers. I'd be more than likely to believe beating the Chargers more than the Broncos, but I just can't see that happening, especially with how they're playing. So yeah, I don't see how you have somebody who has a national microphone says I still see the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. So don't change Chris Collinsworth. We need something normal, even if it is your lack of a grasp on reality. But hope you are in the playoffs. Playoffs? Kidding me? Playoffs? Hope we can just win again. Hope you're in playoffs. Hope we had audio. Yeah. Hope my mic is okay. Sorry for hitting you too many times. But yeah. Hope you're in the playoffs. Hope your home team did better than my home team did. Bucks, yeah. Woof. Woof. Rough week when you lose the Saints. But all of a sudden, yeah, got Thursday. Prime time football coming on up. So the good thing about a short week is they don't have a lot of time to focus on the bad things, and you can focus on the good things, which is often the Bucks upsetting the Falcons, because Bucks should have Mike Evans coming back, getting a little more stacked for that, for the field, for the offense, and rocking and roll. So yeah, that's it for me. I'll be back more than likely later this week with Flying Ryan as I hit the mic again. Probably that's telling me to move the mic back. That's what's that's telling me to move the mic back. Later on with Flying Ryan to do our recaps and our picks and rock and roll as we get closer and closer to the end of football season, which is always sad. It's always good because you have playoffs and that's exciting, but it's also a bummer too because it means football's coming to an end as quickly as you always want football to start. Ah, always must end. But yeah, take care and have yourself a fantastic Thursday. And I'm Joel Roll.